Good evening and welcome to the Town of Waterboro Planning Board meeting of August 1st. We have a quorum, we have all the members present. For those of you that are watching, can see we have one seat vacant, so if you're interested in applying, please do so with the Board of Selectmen. We had a site walk earlier this evening, on map 4, lot 56, Victor Wright's property. And we will open this meeting with a public hearing. Anybody in the public who have anything they'd like to say, please step up to the podium and address the board.
David Benton, I'm with the Waterboro Water District. I'm here basically for one thing tonight. I'm not against this project whatsoever. There are a few things that I have questions on, but I do have a problem with something that was brought to my attention. It was brought to my attention that the town planner had informed the planning board and code enforcement officer that the Waterboro Water District had sent a letter approving this project. When in fact, all we sent a letter saying was that we had ample water to supply this business. We do have some questions, and we talked to Dougie Foglio and Victor on them on the watershed off the parking lot into the wellhead protection area, and we discussed a few things that could be done or could not be done and so on, and we opted not to send any letter approving. We opted to let the planning board and code enforcement officer do their proper job in overseeing this project. And I just wanted to make it perfectly clear that it's a little bit aggravating when I'm told that we sent a letter and we did not. We sent no such letter, and I think Tina has a copy of the letter that we did send.
It's in the packet. All it says is that-
And all it does is state that we have sufficient water to supply the project.
When we were at the sidewalk tonight, we talked about the parking lot in the corner of the building being in the water district. And Victor told us that you guys came to an agreement on how to slope the parking lot and everything else so that it's contained. Is that true?
Well, there were a couple of things that we talked about. When we first went over there, they discussed maybe putting a level spreader on the lower side of the parking lot. And then the second time we went to talk to him, Dougie had some information from, I'm not sure. DEP?
Yep.
DEP saying that their studies showed that the natural vegetation below that parking lot would take care of cleansing any water coming off the parking lot. We're not engineers, we don't know. But that was when we decided that what we should do is let you guys and code enforcement do what you had to do to check this all out. And that's what we did. And like I said, I'm not against the project. I'm big time business. I really enjoy seeing that Victor is doing more for himself and for the town. And I think this project, if it goes in the direction keeping the pond the way it is and not any more development within the watershed area, I think that should be all right. But that was not up to us to decide. And we didn't.
Okay. Victor, do you have a copy of that DEP letter?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, it's a whole bunch of.
We can get that when this is a public hearing at this point.
I'm sorry.
We will get that when we do
That was my only concern. We just don't like being kind of shortchanged on that and using the water district name, so to speak.
All right, thank you, David. Anybody else from the public? Nobody, seeing nobody else to say anything, I will close the public hearing at this time. Our first appointment is a site plan review application for Heritage Company, Main Street, map 4, lot 56. Victor Wright is here to present it. Victor, I will let you present the letter you have from the water district, from the DEP, but there are concerns on these plans that are gonna need to be addressed.
Okay.
Okay.
There was never a letter from the DEP. We, Doug got information from their site as to what they have for small developments.
Okay.
And that's the,
I just said that, Tim, I'm sorry.
All right.
That is exactly what he told us.
yeah. And so this information, which I can give you after the meeting, is all stuff that Doug Foglio took off the site and put together in a package.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're just standard procedures, DEP
Correct.
standard
Yeah.
procedures.
So, I guess we're gonna need to address the wellhead protection zone and water district's concern. We're gonna need to see it on the plan, how you propose to address that,
Okay.
okay?
They suggest, and I can go into all the calculations on the impervious surface and all that, it's all in here. They suggest a 75-foot wooded buffer. There are level spreaders that you can put in, and Doug Fogel would be better off explaining all this, but
I'm not an engineer, but I was looking at these plans, these are dated '92, so all your notes are gonna need to be revised, so we can see exactly how you're gonna do that, so it's pretty well spelled out for John Puppet who comes in and looks at that to see how you're doing it. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go back to Dana Libby, or whomever.
well, as far as that date on that plan, that's just the survey that we used as a base to do all of our work on. Everything else is stuff that we did on that plan recently.
Yeah, I see Kenny Gardner's seal on here, and there's no seal from Dana Libby on there. So it's gonna need to be clarified, and these engineers or whomever you have working for you that are professionals that are doing this, that can provide the requirements that we need to satisfy the ordinance, need to be
Okay.
addressed on here.
The last meeting we had, we discussed as far as having it engineered, and the code enforcement officer said he actually suggested that that may be something that should be addressed. And at that meeting, we talked about, instead of doing that, we could get Kenny Gardner in to delineate the wetlands. And based on the information from DEP, asking for a 75-foot wooded buffer, protection from any wetlands. So we went forward with Ken Gardner's plan that's drawn on there, and we're over 300 feet from the wetlands with the wooded buffer. And that last meeting, that was what was discussed to move this project forward to this meeting and then be the final meeting.
All right.
That's what that shows though, Tim, doesn't it? The woodland buffer there coming around?
I'm not sure what that shows.
Is this,
That's the woodland buffer line right
That's
there.
that's the wetland, that's the wellhead line protection.
The wellhead
protection.
Here's the pond, and here's Kenny's scratchings with his seal here. I mean, if you guys discussed that at that meeting, I'm gonna
It
accept
really looks
that.
like a pretty nice site, Tim. I mean, it's kind of.
Oh, I know the site well, yeah.
It's sandy, and I would think that it would,
it does say 300 feet of undisturbed wooded buffer.
And that's really what we asked them to do, was lay out the wetlands. So we had a,
Is there a note on anywhere on the drawing though that says that the building is located in the wetland, in the
Wellhead,
wellhead protection zone, needs to comply
I
with
didn't see
the...
anything.
I guess that,
It's not though, is it just
The
the
building
lot?
isn't.
It's
The
just
building
the lot.
isn't, the parking lot.
It's the
The
north.
wellhead protection
thought-
comes down right down through.
that was that corner of the
Corner,
building.
pretty much,
actually
yeah.
a corner right there.
And that's the current wellhead protection zone, the one that was voted in last year?
I'll shut up then, I wasn't here at the last meeting.
And that was, we also waived the engineering on that, right? That was where you
You
were.
waived the engineering
You know the
pending
residences
Ken
this way?
Gardner's
I know the
review of the
residence,
wetlands.
With no lot lines.
And it was discussed that if he was,
I believe
if he
that
laid it
Mark
up.
had asked in his letter for lot lines to split off the lot, to show it where the lines would be split, should it be sold off, right?
Okay.
Hold on, so said that the house had to be on some separate line.
Yeah.
Lot.
Okay. Yeah, so that's gonna
If
have to...
they're gonna share the drive.
But that can be between him and Mark, I guess.
Why does the house have to be on a separate lot? Mixed use.
It doesn't have to be, he just wanted it delineated in case he
So-
ever wanted to sell it.
So
Or
it
separate the
would
lot.
show it would meet setbacks and had all the setback requirements, yeah, for the zoning.
Yeah, but if it's one lot now, he's gonna subdivide it later on, so why?
If he's to sell that house off, it needs to show that it can meet the setbacks and everything else, and that's what I'm presuming Mark is looking for, to show that it can,
I guess it's one lot, so why? If that's a future thing.
because
it's
it's
gonna have-
it's two primary, three, that's a two-family?
It's a one-family
One
house.
family, yeah, it's the multi-uses on the
Single lot.
parcel, yeah.
Okay.
Is-
Zoning.
And I'm speaking for Mark, I'm probably speaking how he's
I would
thinking.
think that there's a chance they could be cut off and not be a conforming use lot. So I guess they have to make sure that they get.
What happens is, under
Conforming.
Maine state law, is there's a thing about practical uses, so if you put your building there, you may be able to develop it without meeting setbacks, what he's looking at.
I guess this is my own ignorance. So this lot that he creates, this is the one legal basic out sale.
Well, no, it's not an outsale, what he's doing is delineating the lot, he's creating a lot on paper to show Mark, should he ever sell it off, it will meet all the setback requirements.
Is that on that plan?
No,
I have it right here. What happened was, Ken Gardner, we gave him a plan, and we didn't give him the one with this line on it.
okay.
This separates the house.
Yep.
That separates the house, and what happened was, I didn't give this to Ken, he
Okay,
took another one that I had, a copy, and did that, so
that's why
I
my
needed.
notes are on this one, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this shows he meets these setbacks and those setbacks.
Okay. All right.
Should he ever decide to split it off.
So I guess we need one drawing then.
Which I can get, or, that one doesn't have it,
Now, the question I got is, the corner of the building does fall into the wellhead protection zone. So, I guess I'm unclear on the ordinance. Does all the building then have to comply to the wellhead protection zone, or that corner of the building have to comply with the wellhead protection zone?
I don't really remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going by the site plan review checklist that we went through last time.
Yep.
And Tom had gone through it all, and there were certain things that needed to be waived, and we waived them. And I think we had left the applicant with the understanding that, you know, if he got this stuff in kindergarten, that we'd be all set with it.
Yeah.
And based on what I've seen here tonight, I think he's all set. And I don't see where there's gonna be a real high impact to the water district at all over there. Even the water guy's down here, and he's not screaming about it. It's a problem. He doesn't know for sure, but they're parking cars, and they got a standard septic system out back. I mean, he should have the right to do something with his property, and he's met the requirements here.
As far as the impervious surface goes, the amount of building is 2,800 square feet in the wellhead protection zone. The parking lot, the drive, the walks, we have a gravel access, and we also have a dumpster pad. It totals 16,000, it's about 17,000 square feet
Of impervious?
of impervious. That equals 0.39 acres. And I think we have to be under an acre, is that correct? Under an acre, I believe. At any rate, 0.39 acres, they require 75 feet of wooded buffer. We have 320 feet of wooded buffer. And then they ask for a level spreader, 75 feet per acre of impervious surface. That would mean that we would need a 30-foot level spreader. But if you read further into DEP's notes on level spreaders, that is if you can't have the wooded buffer. If you have this wooded buffer, you really don't even need the level spreader. And we're more than happy to put in a level spreader. It only needs to be 30 feet. We'll go with 75 feet. But
It's basically just flat.
yeah, in these notes, it says that you're really better off to have the wooded buffer. It acts as a better filter.
So the test pit's all sandy loam?
Yeah, all that information is based on what is the type soil? I have that written right in there, the type soil. I believe it's like a type C or
It's
It's a
Class C,
C5.
yeah.
Class C soil. So all of this is based on their information for a Class C soil.
The
Yeah,
water
you-
table was 24 inches.
Yeah, Class C soil is 75. Length of flow path for a forested buffer is 75 feet. And again, we have the 320.
I think we discussed at the last meeting as well that you weren't gonna do anything in there with toxic chemicals or anything.
No.
It's gonna be office building
It's
space.
a professional office building, yeah.
Yeah.
Light, I always said light industrial, the possibility of light.
Possibility, yeah, you're right. It's actually a spec building right now. We don't have anyone.
Just to make light of this, I wish you'd take Zumba up there.
Yeah. I know
It's like dancing. there's
By
some dancing.
The 400
Pretty
cars
racy.
parked there.
No, it's very loud music.
Is it really?
Oh, I thought he meant the
I think
dead
you
man.
should take part in it.
Yeah.
They didn't even hit. They didn't even hit rock at all, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion that we accept the site plan as proposed, as long as it all gets consolidated onto one drawing. And it, showing the lot separation, the wetlands, all
Yep.
delineated on there. And it's accepted as proposed.
I'd second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed?
Okay. You want this, copies of this,
Please,
for the notes when they bring
for
it?
at least the record.
Okay.
Kurt, the one thing that I do remember, I don't remember on a building, but I know, like, Doug's large piece of property across the street from there, there was one small pie of his property that was touched by the watershed.
So just that pie was
That's
covered?
it.
Yeah, I remember we
That's
talked
what
about
I
that.
remember, but I don't remember on a building.
Yeah,
I
no.
do know that on property.
It was only the
just
section.
piece of property that's covered. It
So-
isn't the whole.
Yeah, I think just because you didn't touch it, you didn't get electrocution of
That's
the whole
correct.
thing.
That's
'Cause I don't see anything clearly in here that says,
correct. Well, it might be one of the things that we
That's what I was
know that
looking
there are a
for.
few things that we need to tweak on it.
or it could be like a percentage, you'd have to have, over
Yeah.
50% of the building in it. Yeah, I thought there might be some direction here, but I don't see it. Just,
'Cause I think the other thing too is it all depends on what's the use of the building. If it's a purely commercial, like office space, doesn't really matter if there's a percentage of it in there as opposed to, it's a waste drum container building.
I think they're doing commercial painting or if they're doing auto repair, I think I'd have a lot bigger
Zumba.
concern.
It would have made a difference.
Yeah, there's a list of
fireworks
a
factory.
lot of businesses and not all right.
Mhm. All right. Any further discussion on this one? Moving on.
You all set?
I'm all set, Vic. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
We have minutes from two previous meetings, July 11th and 25th. Any deletions, additions? We'll start with July 11th. I'll accept the motion to accept this.
So
Present.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? July 25th.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor? One abstention, I wasn't here. Old business. We have three items on the agenda this evening for old business. One is growth management ordinance. Second is performance bonds, and the third is cisterns.
Andy will give us the cistern report.
Andy, give us a cistern.
No,
I didn't ask to vote on that.
we're still waiting to hear on that from,
This is. Has anything moved on the bonding? Okay.
Should we address the selectmen in a separate letter?
Yeah, I think we should ask, just
So that we
to,
can keep it going, because it has,
I mean, we're starting to see businesses really starting to pick up, so, I mean, it's a matter of time before it comes to this way, but I think we're gonna be looking next year or two.
Can I send a note to the selectmen on that?
I think
I think all
one,
we need to know is
Bonnie's the
just
same
what they
thing,
feel.
Bonnie's on the same
you know,
thing.
if it's
Yeah,
something
but I've
that-
never heard of it.
I don't think there's any major issue with
Because
it.
didn't we send a recommendation?
Just hasn't moved up high enough on
Yeah,
the.
we did, yeah.
on the
It's a
list.
recommendation.
So we can address bonding, cisterns, growth management ordinance, I think, from the feeling I got from the selectmen, is they want to probably keep it that way.
Yeah.
Keep it in place with some tweaks to it, but
Yeah.
not a lot of drastic stuff.
So the whole idea of the allocations instead of a once
Yeah.
is dead.
Yeah.
Maybe,
That's
could we at
unfortunate.
least combine issuing the permits at the same time that the building permits issued?
I think what they're looking for basically is that we keep it, but we propose a rewrite to make it simpler.
Or make it easier to manage?
Simplify it.
Right.
Yeah, the maintenance is,
Yeah.
I think somebody at that meeting, I forget who it was, stood up and said, we gotta keep in mind what the purpose of it is. You know, what is the purpose? The purpose is for high growth. So meantime, keep it as simple as we can, just to make it mainstream, go through. And I think Tina's idea, I've gone from my idea to what Tina said, first come, first serve. You get a permit with the growth thing, and I'm not sure if we should put a limitation as to how much one person can get in a year. I'm not sure if we can do that. I think that should be in there so that nobody goes in and grabs a lot of them. I know what our public hearing,
If they have to build.
get the building permit
Yeah.
at
Permit
the
same
same
time.
time.
Yeah.
And the septic,
So it may not be an issue.
Yeah, they're not-
$1,000 is not gonna be.
Unless we turn around the building market like it was in the early
and
90s.
in reality, I think we had the issue mostly because of Lake Arrowhead at the time.
Well,
Half of the permits were going in Lake Arrowhead.
I think we got another 2 years.
I don't think there's anything left there.
So I would almost, in order to keep it moving, so we keep it moving, almost suggest that we have someone rewrite it with those changes, get all the BS out of it and just leave it in there with so many permits a year.
I really thought that our town plan.
I wrote an ordinance when I was in Biddeford for signs, Andy,
Yeah.
and it was a very simple ordinance. Went like this: whatever is legal in Las Vegas is allowed in Biddeford.
Oh, that explains a lot.
But it got voted out. I would do that with the growth ordinance as well, is my feeling on it, but we can address that. We could do a workshop on it and tweak it, and everybody pick up a chapter or something, or 5 pages on it, and come up with a plan.
I thought we were gonna do the workshop tonight.
Yeah, that's, you can.
We can.
Yeah,
Why is performance spots on our workshop?
I'd like to if we can, keep it going.
Because it's still up in the air.
Just because
Okay.
it's something that's up there.
Okay.
And I think it's a pretty easy thing to do. I think basically the growth ordinance is fine, except that it's pain with all the stuff. Just take up everything except leave in a few paragraphs.
Okay.
And we can take Natalie's rewrite and just go through there and cross things off. And say,
We'll
well, you
workshop the growth ordinance and performance bond, and once we adjourn. Is that
Sure.
off the camera?
What's that?
We'll address and workshop both growth ordinance and performance bonds
Okay.
to the best we can. Performance bonds may be a matter of just sending a letter to the selectmen, but we'll address those issues off the camera. Any communications? None. I didn't see it in my packet. Miscellaneous, new business?
I'd like to make a motion that, based on partially what we had tonight, that the planner reviews all of our paperwork and applications at least a week prior to coming to us. That way, if it's not, everything hasn't been in, it's not reviewed, it doesn't make the agenda.
So there's a motion that the planner review and get to us a week before our meetings.
Punishing the applicant. I think we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Punish the applicant by doing that. It's sad, but again, tonight, I wasn't prepared about this DEP thing. I thought we were all set.
So was I, and I understand we're punishing the applicant,
Yep.
but unfortunately, we're not doing the citizens of Waterboro any good by sitting here with our faces hanging out on TV, not having real answers, because I reviewed this and I had different issues. If I would have had a document in front of me that said X, Y, and Z has been addressed by those that needed to be addressed, and the information was correct, then we could have gone forward and moved this along like a board should be moving along. I understand, and I don't want to do that, but we need to do something to get this information to us in a timely fashion. We lost,
We talked about this in last
yeah,
meeting.
we lost one of our board members specifically for that reason. So I'll accept the motion, a second on that motion.
I would second that.
Is there any discussion on it? Tim? Okay, I'll call for a vote, all in favor? And I know
It's a
you,
tough one.
I know you do it begrudgingly,
I
and
do.
I think we all do, but it shows the unity of the board that we need to get that word out.
Because we talked about it somewhat differently at the last meeting, that, you know, what's gonna happen is that we don't have it, we're not gonna do it, the applicant's gonna come down here and say, go away, because our plan didn't get to us, you
And,
know?
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and ask our administrative assistant if she doesn't have that information or the okay from the chair or the vice chair to put it on the agenda a week before. It doesn't fall on her shoulders, it falls on ours that we don't have the information and it's not going on. So she can communicate with either myself or Kurt, both electronically or by phone, whichever you prefer.
I just think it's, you know, to have, basically, even the water district thing about, you know, that it just, you know, to have all the information ahead of time makes more sense than to be asking for it. You know, we should have, Victor should have been through a month ago. I mean, that was partially because of a problem we had.
I think it's because the sidewalks got messed up, and he
Yeah.
didn't send out his public notices. I don't think the board held him up, I think he's come to meetings, and I think we said we were gonna do with him. And I think there's a little bit of controversy on the board here right now as to whether he should get his approval tonight, but based on the use that he's doing on there, I don't see where you can't do that, you can't do anything
Right.
in the water district. I mean, that's the way I look at it, you know,
That's right.
you can't build that in the water, next, on the edge of the water district. You can't do anything in the water district.
And my concern with that tonight was, it was a wellhead protection, and we weren't properly informed
Yes.
of the issues that was concerning the water district. I mean, I got a call from David last week, so I had a heads up on what was coming down. With that should have been,
But I took into consideration that the water district knew about what's going on. The water district, Dave Benton was there with Doug Foglio walking it. If the water district really had a concern about it, they would have given us a letter saying, we have a concern.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I don't have a concern, I don't want to be responsible, is what I heard.
yeah, that's
I don't want
what,
to be
yeah, exactly.
responsible.
And
They don't want to hold the project up.
And I don't think it's fair to the applicant to hold them
But
up. He doesn't want to be
by
responsible.
not,
And
at two
throw-
meetings, by not voicing any objections, as
It
far as
would have
I'm
been nicer to have
concerned,
an
that's an
applicant coming
approval.
in. Yes.
And that's what needs to be worked out in that
Yes.
office out there 2 weeks before or a week before we come here and sit here and look like idiots.
I mean, that's a classic case. You know,
Exactly.
a portion of the building's in it.
Mhm.
The 99% or 95% of the building's not in it. Is it all in it? Is it none in it? Is 1% of the businesses?
Yeah, but the parking lot was more of a concern to me than, that's where your impervious area comes in and your
There's not
gas.
going to be anything in that parking lot
Oil.
that isn't going to be on Route 202.
Right. And you
Right.
look look at the test pit, and it's just
It's not.
there's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the fact that it's a sandy soil, stuff is going to mitigate into it, so the contaminant should stay.
It actually, I mean, the way the slope is, it would take, you know, even the storm we had today, it would take 4 of those before you could even get a flow going in there.
Good. Any other new business anybody would like to discuss? I'll accept the motion to go into adjourn and go into workshop.
I guess the only concern was Cisterns, we're still waiting to hear from, we don't even know what's coming at us, right?
Right.
Okay, there we go. Motion to adjourn?
Second? To adjourn to go to workshop.
Yep, second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.